And we're live. Okay, welcome to our second episode of Deadends, where today we will be discussing ego and no-no, so egotistical behaviour and bullying within the
I'm just switching over to Wi-Fi.
We have Colt and Andrew down here, and then we have Barry Frankish down there, and as always, CJ Simmons, who I couldn't do this show without, in the right hand corner. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pass over to CJ so CJ can explain everything this evening.
Well, welcome guys, welcome to the show. Obviously tonight we are talking about a subject which is rather controversial. It's about egos, it's about bullying, it's about how people interact and who has got these egos. And we're going to have a little generalized chat about it. Now, as always, everybody that comes in has a view, an opinion, and we value all views and opinions. So everybody can have a say, and this show is guided by you, our Deadenders, as we're now calling it. As you notice, Kelly got it up in the corner, and I haven't.
That way.
That way, just down below you. And as Kelly said, it's a big welcome to Cole and Barry at the bottom. And I'm sorry, I've gone and lost the guy's name that's with you. Andrew, isn't it? It's Andrew. Right, Andrew. So welcome to Andrew as well. Obviously, we're going to have a nice long chat. We want to keep everything all nice and above board as well. This show is about generally. It's not aimed at any individuals, and we would rather talk about it as a general inset of what this show is about, you know, and especially about how it needs to be dealt with. And do we call people out who do this? You know, it's a long discussion, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people that's going to have a lot of want to come in and talk. We'll try and get around you all. I've got to be quite honest with you. I think it's going to be a big one tonight. I want to say welcome to everybody that's joining in on the chat. I am going to try and multitask tonight, keep an eye on the chat as well as get into the conversation. So what I'm going to do now is pass back over to Kelly a minute, just to talk about, because I know she's quite passionate about some things with the egos that's going on at the moment. So, Kelly, to be quite honest, what spoiled your piss this week?
Wow, CJ, what spoiled my piss this week? Actually, it's something that boils my piss constantly and has done for 17 years that I've been in this field for, and it's egotistical behaviour and bullying. And as a result, this week, I came across, that popped up in my notifications, that John Sixth Sense was live, and also Seeking the Unknown were live. So I thought, I'll have a butchers at that, as I always do. I like to keep up to date with where everybody's going as an investigator, not going to lie. I want to know where you are, because I might want to go there myself. So had a bit of a watch. All was good. Thought both of the investigations were spot on. I thought they all did great. It's what happened towards the last 15, 14 minutes that absolutely threw me off the ship. The language was phenomenal, and both teams were at fault. It wasn't just one team, absolutely both teams at fault there. And it's not just these guys that do it. There are many teams out there that seem to want to drag their personal issues that have absolutely nothing to do with the paranormal whatsoever. They want to drag it into the paranormal field. And this is what people who watch paranormal investigators think we do half the time in our life. We just bitch and moan at each other. And I just think it's got to stop. I don't know. What do you think, Barry?
I agree. I mean, this episode you mentioned it, and I've actually not seen it. I've been a little bit busy, but I have heard little things about it. And until I actually see it, I can't really comment. But in my respect, with myself, I cannot stand bullying in the first place, regardless whether it's paranormal, whether it's in personal, whether it's in work. It's a no-no. I mean, these people actually do this kind of thing. What is it? Is it attention seeking? Is it a case of insecurity? We don't know, do we? I mean, it could be Freudian. I mean, didn't give these people get enough love from their mothers? I mean, I don't know. I mean, something's triggered it. I mean, I think as well, I think people tend to get an audience. And I think they forget they start going on a flow. They forget there's an audience. They get like a diva-ish aspect behind them, and they think they can do anything they want. They think they're beyond anybody else's reach, and they think they're untouchable. And I think it is an ego thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so wrong.
Absolutely. Cole and Andrew, have you got any thoughts on bullying and egotistical behaviour in any sense of the word?
I'll let you start this one off. Because knowing me, I'll say the wrong thing.
That's all right.
And I'll let you start, and I'll come in when I feel I need to.
I feel like I'm going to say something that I might think, I should have said that. I just feel like, it's not just the paranormal, like you said, it's other industries as well. There's a lot of competition out there, who can get the most evidence, who's going to be the better team, who's got the most views and stuff like that. It doesn't come down to just one thing. It comes down to, everything of what it is that they're trying to achieve within that, and at the end of the day, we're meant to be coming together to help each other. If one team's bigger than the other, maybe the one that is smaller should be looking up to the one that's bigger, as, I wouldn't say a role model, but what are they doing right to get the views? What are they doing right to get the, the evidence that they're getting, etc. We should all be working together as one unit instead of trying to divide one another, because when we divide, we're not really putting our mind and our attention to what it is that we're exactly doing. We're just trying to pull each other apart. And at the end of the day, like I said, we should be trying to help one another. Why are we out there trying to destroy one another when we could achieve so much more when we can work as one unit instead of individual? Because you can't expect the left leg to do something if the right leg doesn't want to follow. You're not going to get anywhere, are you? But when both legs are moving in the same direction, you're going to start to move forward. And that's what we all need to think. We need to stop tearing each other down and start working together as a unit. But it's the same wherever it's like in the field I am, in the psychic world, in the medium world, we do the same thing, and it's come to a point, it's just like, when does it stop? Enough is enough. No one's better and no one's worse. We're equal. We're just as good as the next person. It just depends how we want to conduct ourselves in the public eye. Because at the end of the day, we're in the public eye, and we've got to look at it. If we're going to act in this kind of behaviour, then what kind of representation are we putting there for ourselves as well as the industry that we're in? People are just going to add to the fire when really they don't need to. So what we need to start looking at, what can we do that's going to be more helpful and beneficial, rather what can we do to destroy the industry? Because I was talking to someone a few months ago, like someone who is very, high up, does this, that, and the other in the media production. And they even said, because of what's going on with the amount of bickering and people destroying one another, the paranormal field is starting to become a dying industry. So do we really want to kill that industry, or do we want to keep it going for the next generation that could do better than what this generation is doing?
Well said.
At the end of the day, I think we're all responsible for our own actions.
Yeah, we are.
It's how you cross when you're doing these investigations, and I quite agree. I've always said it, and I'm not shy to say it, that the paranormal is going downhill.
It is.
It's going down quicker than the Titanic, to be quite honest with you.
No lifeboats.
With no lifeboats. Yeah, exactly. And I think the way that we present ourselves when we're doing lives or when you're doing videos, at the end of the day, says a lot about the individual and what you're doing. And we should be working together. People should be sharing information. They should be supporting one another. But you're not going to get it everywhere, because you're always going to get falling outs with people. You're always going to get arguments like what happened with that video. To be quite honest, the only thing that I was annoyed about was it was just the language.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, there was no need of that. You could have kept that private. That's my own personal view, But at the end of the day, if what do we do when things like this happen? Do we call it out? Do we try to clear the air and actually bring people and say, well, look, people are getting fed up with it, I'm
Yeah.
fed up with it. You're fed up with it. Everybody's fed up with it. You know, we're supposed to be proving the paranormal. And no way are we going to get anywhere near proving the paranormal or furthering this field if this behaviour continues. It has to stop.
I think as well, the problem you've got as well, like I said, this behaviour you've just been mentioning, their followers are going to think this is normal.
Yeah.
And then someone comments, for example, this behaviour is not bad, good, it's not good enough, you shouldn't be doing this, then you'll get classed as a bully.
Yeah.
And there's a snowball effect. I mean, you get two people who don't know the story, put their 2 pence in, then another 2 pence worth in, then another 2 pence worth in. It snowballs. Before you know it, you've got a totally different story altogether. A total Chinese whisper.
Yeah, and I don't really care what somebody has done to somebody else in their personal life. I really don't care. I don't care whether you've had a screenshot of boobs or I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is, what are you doing for the paranormal field? Can I see a decent investigation? Because I'm not interested in much on TV. I'd rather watch you guys, because it's exactly what I do. So I get that we're going to have, out of 8 hours, probably 7 boring flipping hours. But I'm waiting and I'm holding out for that 1 hour where you guys all get something amazing and I can shout about it. It fills me with, oh my God, I want to go there, and I need to contact them and find out where they are.
You're absolutely right.
Could we just put up a comment that's just been put up there? It's from Emma Sherlock, because I think she's got a valid point. And it's where she says that the followers play a big part going between teams to spark problems. And that does happen. And that is a valid, nice one, Emma, to be quite honest. I like that, because I think that actually does play a part of it. It's not all of it, but it just plays a small part of it. And this is where we've got to stop.
Yeah, I agree. Because like you're saying, if rival teams are, going to keep bickering, obviously you're going to get the followers that want to support the teams that they're following, fair enough. Fine, support the people. But when followers are trying to have their 2p in, it's just going to make things worse, because really they're not there.
The trouble that you've got there, Andrew, is, and you and Cole have a mass following. You do. You have a mass following. I've followed you from the start. And I'll be honest, may not like some of the stuff that's happened to you guys in the past. You've been exactly where John and Seeking the Unknown have been. You've been there many times.
Yeah.
I think it is such a shame that followers of any page have to see what they have to see, and then they have to feel like they have to choose between that team or this team, and then all of a sudden that's not paranormal. That's not paranormal in any way, shape or form. They're just
basically a football match.
I agree, because they're not there to watch the drama. They're there because they want to watch the paranormal. And like you said, when you got teams bickering at each other, then they're in that position where they feel, well, I like both teams, what do I do? And the only advice I could probably give followers is, don't get involved, don't have a 2p in whatever's going on, just watch, listen, and then that's it. Don't have anything.
Some followers
won't.
You've got the case over here as well. You've also got a case where some followers can see no wrong in whoever they're following, and whatever they do, good or bad, you attack that, they attack you, and vice versa. I mean, with what I believe in paranormal is, don't look at it, like we mentioned before, Andrew, don't look at it as competition. Look at it as though you're the only person doing what you're doing, and don't try to do it for yourself. Don't try to please anyone else. Because I don't do that. I mean, I wouldn't dream of thinking, I need to make these people happy. If I don't like what we don't like, don't follow me by all means. I mean, it's what you need to do is, it's not a competition. Lead by example.
Yeah, exactly. It's like with what I do in the psychic world, I look at it. If I can reach out one person and done something good for them, I don't care if I've got one person watching, 50 people watching, how many. I'm always about reaching that one person out of everything. And that's how, teams should be as well. They're there to do what they enjoy, what they like. And they come to do these live streams to share that passion with other people. So they're not there to please the viewers, oh, we should do this because that's what they want. No, the viewers are watching because they enjoy it. So that's what they should stick at, enjoying. The investigators are sharing that experience with them, you know. So they should be there encouraging that experience to try and make the team grow, not having their 2p where it could end up destroying that team. And it's really sad because there's teams out there that are so brilliant, you know, but they're losing the ability to even want to do it because of either rival teams or the viewers, you know, and it's not right, it's not fair, and you know, and this is one of the reasons why I had to take a step back, because my head got so overloaded. I thought, you know, what do I do? You know, it's not benefiting me, it's just making me feel down in myself. You know, so I thought to myself, instead of coming on camera feeling unhappy because, you know, of certain things, I thought if I take a step back, breathe, get myself back to normal, come back in with a fresh head. And that's what I thought as a professional person would do, and that's what I did, you know. And it's a shame, but the investigators have to stick what they enjoy doing and not trying to please everyone. They need to please themselves and their team, you know, and continue sharing that passion, not allowing other people or other teams to destroy that.
I think it also shows in people's work as well. If you enjoy what you're doing it passionately, people do know that, and people pick up on it. And it's like we've all seen a movie where the acting's been so wooden and so bad. You think, I'm not watching this. It's the same kind of thing. You enjoy. I mean, I love what I'm doing. I love my radio work. I love a bit of streaming. I do my investigations, my writing. I love doing all that kind of stuff. But I do it for me. I don't try to please anybody else. I mean, I'm grateful I've got followers. I mean, I don't want anybody want to follow me, but I am grateful, and I would feel horrible if I tried to mislead them or corrupt them in any way possible. I mean, that's not me. I mean, I'd like to be remembered, if they do remember me, for trying to do the right thing. And if that influence just attaches itself to one person, I'm happy.
I think Luke Allerton makes a really good point. He says, like you said, all these live streamers just need to stop with all the drama. It's an absolute embarrassment for the field. If something happens on an investigation while you're out, just walk away and sort it privately, not on social media. You only bring yourselves down to their level. And I think that's right in all aspects of any falling out with any paranormal team. And I've had my share of them. I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm a saint. I've never fallen out with anybody, because I have.
We'd all be lying.
And in the infancy of my investigating, I was just as bad as everybody else. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I used to put little gripes and little digs. You know, I never did Facebook Lives or anything like that. I wasn't around then. God, I'm old. But you know, as we still do now, like when you're pissed off with something or someone, but you can't be bothered to tell them, oh, you've pissed me off. So you just put up like a meme picture or something, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, what's that with you?
Yeah, or a little clue, cryptic clue, get people hooked.
Yeah, and then I just felt so ashamed of myself one day that, you know, I'm joining in with everybody else and thinking that this is natural, normal behaviour. And it kind of is. Everybody has the right to be upset emotionally, you know, and everybody has the right to put themselves out there and say what they're concerned about. I just don't think you do it on your paranormal page. Do it on your personal page. No one else's business. If that's what you want to do, that's what makes you feel better. Not got a problem with it.
Right, it's like nothing but a soap, is it? It's soap opera.
Oh, God, I did reference it to EastEnders the other day. Sometimes it's like an episode of EastEnders. You're like, you're just waiting for the next 5 because you're like, what are they going to say now?
Yeah. What's it a case of? What's that? Dum, dum, dum.
But at the end of the day, the gripe of it all, and I've said it, and people get fed up with me saying it. The problem with the paranormal at the moment is social media, because it's so easy for people to go behind a keyboard, tap away. It's so easy to go on a live and start spouting off on a live. Social media has got a lot to play with it. There is a lot of issues that are out there in the field. I mean, you don't see now investigators putting up research. At one time, you used to have a lot of investigators go out and do an investigation. They'll post their research, their findings. And it was interesting to read. You don't see that now. All you see now is, can you help fund me for a bus?
That's just wrong.
My God, yeah, what was that about? We're going to do a show on that, let me tell you.
But that's
to be honest with you, everything I've done, I've funded myself. I mean, I would not dream of getting somebody else to fund what I do.
I don't know, I need a new car.
of the day, there's no need of it, is it really? But it's so easy because of social media.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the reason this show was created was for these guys who are commenting in the comments, and God bless them all. It's gone off the hoof tonight, and I'm finding it hard trying to keep up reading them to try and share it some good ones on there. But the concession is coming from these guys is that they're agreeing that there isn't a place for this. And really, when it comes down, if you've got an issue with somebody, like at the end of the day, I could have an issue with Kelly, but I'm not going to do use this show to do it or go around. I'd speak to Kelly. If I've got an issue with someone, I'm not going to do it this way. I'll look them directly in the eye and I'll say, I've got a problem with you. And if there's an issue, we can sort it, get it done and dusted.
It's like being at school. It's like being at school. I'll have a fight with you at home time. Next day, you're best friends again.
Yeah, but school times different. School's a tiny bit different. They don't actually tend to fight in school, whereas the paranormal field tend to fight in the paranormal field.
In the classroom, yeah. You tend to find as well, but I've noticed. I mean, like you mentioned, social media being a bad thing. It has been a bit of a both. It's a swings and roundabout thing. Me and Tom's mentioned this on the show previously. I mean, if it wasn't for social media as such, the platform and what we do wouldn't be as acceptable as it is today. It has brought it to a wider audience, but on the other hand, it's brought it to an audience that really shouldn't be here as well. I mean, not everyone's like that. There are people within these ranks who really have got ulterior motives.
No, I would agree on that.
Well, I think just like Colin said, I mean, between us five, you just have to read the comments, pick some of them out because again, there's drama coming in and we don't need it. So.
Yeah, Kelly, can I address that? Listen, guys, this is not about drama or who said who or who said what.
Yeah, we're not interested in that. Those them sort that out themselves.
If you want to do that, back off and go on another live feed. I'll make it clear because we don't want to hear about it. It's not about individuals. It's not about certain groups. This is about general. Keep it general. And if you want to do that, go elsewhere because I won't tolerate it and I'll tell Kelly to kick people off. I'll make that very clear to you now. All right? Because I don't piss about. I'll tell you as I see it. Keep the personal stuff away.
Best way.
I mean, look, there's one comment right there. I don't personally know Barry Depp, but, you know, he said, I've stopped watching a lot of teams now due to arguments. That's a shame because that's probably a real paranormal investigator who's trying to learn from other investigators, and this is the crap that they have to put up with. It's crazy.
Think about it as well, Kelly. What I have noticed as well, I mean, I know paranormal researchers like myself who aren't even on social media. I mean, you'll think about it. There's a lot of people out there we don't know about. It's really credible people. They look like the old-fashioned way. They'll write to each other. They'll meet each other at a pub. Well, we used to be able to meet each other at a pub, but they'll talk. They'll have a meet once a month or so, and they talk. They swap notes basically. No social media involved. No third parties involved. They do what they do. They write a few books and be happy.
Well, look again. Right, I get that some people are on a completely different mission to others. So you got the likes of me, not interested in TV, don't really care, don't want to be on it, not following that path. I do it for a hobby and I really enjoy it, okay? But then you've got the likes of people who do it to get on telly. Brilliant, fantastic, keep plugging away. I'm sure you'll get there one day. But you look at the likes of Katrina Wiseman, you look at Zach Bagans, or Baggins, however you want to pronounce it.
Bilbo.
Look at those guys. Do you see them on Facebook arguing with each other? Do you? No. And why not? Because they're protecting their brand. They're protecting their integrity. Mm-hmm. That is why. What are we doing for the paranormal field as investigators?
To be quite honest, I think Corinne just made a comment and I think that's absolutely right. I totally agree with what she's put up there, really. But it says, I think the field has forgotten the responsibility to show honesty, ethics, not entering into a railway without owner's permission and speak to one another with respect. And that's it in a nutshell. It's respect. It's that word. And have respect for one another and for what you're doing. But most of all, have respect for the field.
The problem is there's no one to regulate it. But like I said, with other industries, there are regulation standards to follow. But with this, as a realm what's built on speculation and guesswork, how can you regulate such a thing? Who's qualified enough to regulate such an authority?
Yeah,
no one.
I had this conversation earlier on, funny enough, with somebody else, and I've banged on about it for so long. The field is not regulated. It's not governance. It's the lunatics are running the asylum. I'm sorry.
We regulate ourselves, don't we? And it's our morals what actually regulate ourselves. We know we've got lines. We know we don't cross that line. But we have individuals out there. That line doesn't exist.
Well, this is true. This is true. Yeah. You know, also something else that I've noticed within the field of late, and I don't know whether you guys have seen it too, all this talk about permits.
Oh yeah.
Permits. Yeah. Let me just tell everybody watching, right? I've done some research. I've contacted councils, trading standards, other people have been working behind the scenes as well on it. There is no such thing, people, as a permit. All right? Stop using the word permit. There isn't such a thing. What it is a letter that anybody can download from a template advising the police that you are travelling to work.
A place of work, yes.
And you get to fill out all those little tiny pieces about where you work. It's not a permit. You don't need a lanyard. Okay. It is literally a letter that tells you can travel to work.
Exactly. Right? Mine, I've got one myself, Kelly. Not one of them type you're talking about, but for my place of work. It's letter ready by my company's name on it. It explains, it's dated, it explains the way and what my purpose of being out and about is. And my working hours. And that's it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have as part of my job, which is
I mean, at the end of the day, lockdown means exactly what it means. Lockdown.
Exactly.
You are locked down. England's locked down. Wales has been in lockdown before Christmas. Scotland, Northern Ireland in lockdown. You cannot go out. I haven't been back to my location since March of last year. We haven't been down there to do any public investigations whatsoever. It's not killing me. It's driving me insane that I'm not able to get out and ghost hunt. I want to go out. There's hundreds that want to go out there. But please stop using stupid excuses to say that you can do this. You can't do it. End of. It's no. For those who don't spell, that's N-O. You can't. No.
And what's more, Cole, another thing is, Cole, and what's more is, these ghosts have been there for hundreds of thousands of years. A few more months, they'll be still there.
Yeah, they probably deserve the bloody rest, to be quite honest.
They're probably thankful for it.
But I do appreciate that some people have got, as we said, talking about followers, they feel a duty to their followers to give their followers. I suppose you guys, Cole and Andrew, you know, you've got a low following. You've got to give them something to keep them interested. I understand that. I really understand that. And it can be hard. But unfortunately, I think if anybody can't understand the fact that by going out and doing that, you could be spreading this COVID.
Yeah. And not just like not just like Cole either as well. Because by them doing that, they think they've got the permission to do the same thing, so they're doing the same as well, and their friends doing the same, and so on. And we're back to square one.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. So you know, at the end of the day, guys, you know, it's not going to be forever. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There is a vaccine. Let's just wait for
exactly. I mean, I would feel terrible if I knew or maybe not knowing I'd had it, and passed it on to somebody else who couldn't cope as well as I cope with it. I mean, I feel awful. I mean, I've got a massive project that we're completing, and I'm biting the bit to get finished. But I'm happy to wait a couple extra months.
Yeah,
I will say this. I will say this though, to those that think it's not real, go and jump off a cliff, will you? Because I had two brothers in hospital close to losing both of them, all right? So don't tell me this virus is not real. No. Go jump off a cliff, you idiots, because that's what
my partner's uncle's in hospital with it right now.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Right. Okay. So what we're going to do now is say thank you to Cole and Andrew. We discussed, guys, you sit in the green room as much as you like, or or leave. Entirely up to you guys. But thanks ever so much for coming on this evening. You've both been great. Andrew, voice of reason. You need to meditation CDs because I would buy those.
I like those things like that.
Yeah.
I do meditation, but the one thing I really want to say, not only to like mediums, but also the paranormal people as well who do the investigations, you know, we have to really remember that these platforms that we were given by spirit aren't our platforms, they're theirs. We're representations of spirit, of what they want to produce, not what we want to produce. If spirit wants to give you that evidence, they'll give it you, but they're only going to give it to the right people. So the platforms that we have, that we use to try and show people that there is life after death, just remember spirit will only put the people there that they want there, not who we want there. So we need to stop squabbling, arguing amongst ourselves, and we need to be decent representation that spirit wants us to be, because what's been given can easily be taken away. They're in control, it's not us.
Well, like I said, just one advice that I'd give to any new teams that are starting out in this industry: just stick to yourself.
Yeah.
Stick to yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I really do.
That's the best advice. When we started, we didn't do that. Look at where we are now. You know, we've had fallouts with teams. I will admit that.
Yeah.
But we didn't stick to ourselves, and I feel like that could be the main reason why.
Oh, bless you.
But there we are.
Love your honesty. Always have, though, to be quite fair. All right, then. So we're going to say goodbye, and we're going to bring in our next guest.
Hello.
Hey, John.
How are you?
Oh, we're all right. Thank you.
Good, good. I've been watching the show, and I've been looking at the comments in the stream, and it does seem that a few people are. I've got a lot of my followers in, and there's followers of other teams in, and they're bickering with each other. And I was under the assumption that obviously this show wasn't going to be about that. So any of my followers, if you're going against anyone in there, please do not, because it's not what I want. The message I want to come on and give tonight.
Thank you very much, John. That's what I was just about to say. Doing that is utmost respect, because at the end of the day, the show isn't about followers having a go. They're going to defend people left, right, and centre. It's great, but it's about a generally open. It's an open invitation, and they can have this. They can do it privately. As I said, at the end of the day, you don't need it, we don't need it, and nobody needs it.
Totally agree. But there is a couple of issues that you've raised that I really do want to give some input into, if that's okay. A couple that maybe I'm responsible for. First thing is the permit. The permit came from our live streams. Now, I'll go into more detail in a second, but when the last lockdown happened, we was given an email saying we are permitted to work by trading standards. A lot of people then assumed that we were claiming we had a permit to go out and work, which is not the case. In this lockdown, we have 2 emails from Nottinghamshire Trading Standards, also Derbyshire Trading Standards, and also South Yorkshire Police, to say that if we operate under the circumstances that we're supposed to, we are allowed to work, purely because it is a professional industry. Well, it is our jobs. We've got 12 employees that work for us, and we all get paid to do the live streaming, and also we've got sponsors. You get your YouTube payouts, and you get your Facebook payouts. So we are classed as professional filmmakers, and it's under those licenses that we've been allowed to go out. But a lot of teams are then listening to people like myself and others and just going out because we do. And what we are doing is now, since the lockdowns happened, is we've had to change a lot of the rules. And for instance, me and Jojo live in the same house, and 2 other team members who work for me live in the same house. So we'll go out together and make sure that the 2 households are 2 meters apart. Mm-hmm. We've had to do a risk assessment on every ghost hunt now. What could be the potential risk of contamination? Anyone that can wear a mask has to wear a mask. So it was a permit. You said, yes, Jane, I said it was a permit purely to take the piss out of someone who was ridiculing me about the permit. So, but John, you're in here. So, I mean, that's one of the first things. The other thing I wanted to mention, because there's been a lot of mention of, number one, that live streamers are responsible, for causing the drama in the industry. The difference is, I used to pre-record YouTube. I used to run UK Paranormal, and there was never no drama, but it was. It's just it was never caught on camera. You can't edit a live stream. Yeah, when you can, your pre-records. So that is why you see a lot more drama on live streams. I am responsible for my share of drama. I'm not going to excuse that. Ways have changed. But we put the email, obviously, from our trade. Yeah, so someone else has had the same letter. So, sorry, I was reading your comments at the same time. So what I'm trying to say is it's not just live streamers, it's all paranormal. We had the drama when I was a pre-record channel before we were live streamers. And it frustrates me that then someone mentioned about the monetization of it. Okay. Now, monetization, I've worked in this industry probably longer than most. Okay. I've been around for 22 years. I was one of the first on YouTube and one of the first live streamers on Facebook. And for 17 years, I did not get paid a penny for my job in the paranormal. But now, because I do have an income and contracts in place, people think that I've then lost my morals and what I'd want to do within the paranormal. Now, what is wrong with turning your passion and hobby into a career? Is a question I've got.
There's nothing wrong with turning your hobby and making some money out of it if you want to. But at the end of the day, there are teams out there that take advantage of it and people that are taking advantage of it. And, you know, I'll be quite honest. You've come on tonight and I know after that fracas, and to be quite honest, I'm not interested in either side of it, really, to be honest. It's none of my business.
To be honest, I've not come on to talk about any other team. I did a video statement the other day saying I will no longer talk about anyone. That what has happened has happened. All I'm going to say is there's been a few comments, people saying turn the live off and deal with it. Yeah. We weren't live when that happened.
No, of course
the other team were. So I was not live. We were waiting patiently outside the location until the other team had done. We were not the ones that were live. So for those that said turn it off.
Yeah, what I'm just trying to say is at least at the end of it, because I've only seen a 15-part. I mean, I'm not one for the language on live anyway, but that's another thing. But you apologised, and so did the other side apologise for it, which is fair and square. So
the thing is, what people don't realise about us when we're in the public eye, okay? If you was having an argument with your neighbour, nobody would have a go at you for using swear words or getting aggressive, because I'm in the public eye, not recording the cells, because I use those words, because I'm in the public eye, then I'm the biggest horrible man going. I
don't think it's got anything to do with you being in the public eye. I'm talking generally, so I'm talking about every single paranormal team out there.
Can I just address Charlene's comment, because you keep saying it. You knew they was there, though. You kept going, right? All I'm going to say about the situation is we turned up. We advertised it earlier in the day. Our security went first, okay? And Stuart came out to them and said, "Are you urban explorers?" They went, "Yeah." And he says, "Give me half an hour, I'll go." My security then rang me and said, "John, Stuart and Dawn's here. Not a good idea." And I was like, "All right, we'll go." But then my security says, "No, actually," because Stuart was quite polite. And he says, "It'll only be half an hour and then we're in." So that is why I didn't move or leave. And that is why... and Jane, I've apologised for that, so I'm sorry. But that is why...
I think what you've got to do here, John, is not... Just don't read the comments, because they're just going to anger you, mates. Just ignore it. We've already said to people, enough's enough. Stop doing that. We're not interested. What we've got now is what we're talking about, and that is...
But do you not think it's... I mean, but do you not get the statement about we all have our own... ways of dealing with stuff, and sometimes we lose tempers and stuff gets said, and it's not until hindsight. And the abuse that I've got recently from it is just disgusting. But I'm supposed to be prepared for that because of what I do. Have you not noticed one common theme in the chat tonight? The three teams that's getting targeted are the three teams with the biggest following in the industry. That's Britain, myself, and Colin Andrew.
So that's naturally going to happen. What you've got to do is ignore it. Just ignore it.
I want to come in here a minute because there is something which has annoyed me in this, and it's going to be addressed. I don't know who she is. Kirsty Yeager, is she one of your followers?
Kirsty, please. Yeah, Kirsty is one of mine, and I will ask her to stop.
she's put up, let him speak and stop having a go at him. Let me make it clear, we're not having a go at anybody. And John, have I had a go at you?
No, not at all.
This is wrong, and this is what we're talking about. Don't come on this show and start putting words in people, because you're going to piss the wrong ones off. All right? We have had a go at John whatsoever.
No, not at all. It's a discussion, and
we won't put up with it.
No, I agree, CJ, and I mean, the situation is, I think it's the viewers that Kirsty's probably mentioning rather than you guys. I mean, it's nothing to do with hindsight. It's about being professional. It is great that, and what I do find is viewers do go running from team to team, causing trouble.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a point there, John.
I mean, sorry to butt in, but I mean, like John just mentioned, I mean, individuals. I mean, I've known it past few years back on public ghost hunts. Teams send spy guests into other customers into other investigations and ghost hunts, and that's put a bit of crap amongst the field basically. And it's not the first time I've seen it. It probably won't be the last either.
Well, I totally agree with you, but I'm going to be honest. The drama from our page stopped. It's making us ill. It's making everybody ill, and it needs to stop in the industry. Sorry, CJ. Sorry.
Yeah, Kirsty's come back. She said, I wasn't going on about you. Sorry, it was the way that it came across, felt as if it was targeted. I said, so I apologise for that.
Yeah, CJ, I think there were a few people commenting on me, and I think that's what she went at.
To make it clear that we do not want people personalising it and having a go at one another.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the whole point of this show is we've got to start tackling egotistical behaviour and bullying. It's just got to stop. And I've always said it, and I think all of you tonight will agree, it always comes from something personal that generally has nothing to do with the paranormal whatsoever. It's always a personal issue. I've had my fair share. I'm not an idiot, and I'm certainly not a saint. I've run teams for 17 years. I've had my own personal fallings out. I've done similar to what's going on tonight. I've done similar to what's gone on in the past. Difference is, I've kind of learned that's probably not the right way to go. But at the end of the day, we've just got to stop it, because it hurts. And people, seriously, they get messed up with it. Mental health is a serious thing. And you might think your brain is perfectly normal now and your body is perfectly normal now. But if you have to part with this crap on a regular basis, your mental health will slowly decline. It really will. And this has got to stop. I would say,
like today, especially like we're out at the moment with lockdown every 2 minutes. It's more than ever.
People are going mad at the moment, and the industry's never been so bad since the lockdown first came in. But if you see somebody, I'll give you an example. You look at my inbox on our page. I mean, we've got 300,000 followers on our page, and some really loyal fans on there. But then you'll get your messages from people who are really being vile. I mean, the amount of times this week I've been criticised about my weight, about the illness that I have, and I just think, well, how is that helping anyone in the paranormal field, right? I will admit, and this show is about egos. When I got so big, I did have an ego, a massive ego. I was very arrogant, yeah? But probably this last year has really sent me back down to ground bouncing really hard, because it's been one of the most years for me in the industry. It's very hard to kind of control your temper sometimes. I'm a human being. If I say words that I then later regret, I will apologise for it. Okay. But yes, I was one of the arrogant ones. I've been knocked down to earth massively. And the main point about me to come on this show tonight, where I'm not going to go to these teams that I've had problems with or issues with previously, I thought this would be a great platform. And my suggestion is that I've already said on my video on my page that there's going to be no drama from us at all. We're not mentioning anybody else. I'm being controlled by my missus, which is a good thing. And I will, I will put the question out there that the drama stays in 2020. I say nothing, and nobody else says nothing about the feuds that's been going on from our end. And if other people could follow the same kind of line and path, then maybe we would be different.
I think that's reasonable, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's acceptable.
Shouldn't we think to the past? I mean, it's the whole problem. The whole reason why Deadends was created was to address issues like this, and not address it as aggressively to go after people, naming groups, doing that. It was to actually to have this conversation, but not just to have it openly, honest and transparent, so people can see. And this is why I got annoyed tonight in the comments, although I'm normally praising it, is the fact that what's happened is you've had followers coming in and they've created that little bit of a thing. Now, I've got wound up, and I'll apologise for being wound up, but that's me. You know, that's the way I am. I'm passionate.
But CJ, I'm the same as you. I can lose my rag. Sometimes swear words. I was very ashamed about a comment I did make, and it was the R word, and a few people's mentioned it. But at the end of the day, we weren't live. Someone was very offensive about my weight, as you saw on the video, and called me a fat. So I responded with the R word. It shouldn't have been mentioned, but I've apologised. I can't apologise enough. I've said that my past is my past. The future is what it's all about. But the problem is people are then starting to pick on each other about the way people investigate. Okay. Yes, we get paid for what we do. Yes, we are. I wouldn't say I'm a paranormal investigator. Far from it. I'm a ghost hunter. A paranormal investigator sets out the case and outlines it, goes over and does research after research after research, and then delivers the case. Whereas a ghost hunter goes online, calls out for spirit, using whatever equipment they've got, and they provide entertainment for the viewers watching. So what I'm trying to say is the paranormal investigators that don't like the ghost hunting terminology, isn't there room for both types?
Well, of course there is. Big enough to accommodate everyone, to be honest. It's going back to what we said at the beginning, really. It's about respect and having respect for each other and the field.
No, I mean, you don't have to like each other. No. At the end of the day, you don't have to like each other.
There's people out there I've fallen out with. It's been over stupid bloody things. But I've fallen out with them. We don't no longer talk. You know, and you just think to yourself, like, do you know who's going to give a shit in 5 years' time?
Yeah.
Who's really going to say, like, well, you know, remember that 5 years ago when all this was going on, blah, blah, blah? Nobody's going to care, to be quite honest with you. All I'm concerned about, and I think what a lot of people are passionate about, is that people want to move this paranormal field forward. And it's moving it forward. It's finding a way to start getting back to that level. And generally, with these egos that are in there, and I mean, there's TV personalities that are gone. You see it all the time. You see it on the Facebook. You see it whenever. The egos lead to the bullying and the intimidation, and people are intimidated. People just got to think before what they're saying and what effect it's going to have on other people. That's all. And again, it comes back to respect. I mean, we're passionate, you're passionate, Barry's passionate, Kerry's passionate, everybody in that chat room is passionate. You can see the passion behind it. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, if you're going to go keep on slagging each other off, fighting each other, you're getting nowhere. You're not doing
Agreed.
It's not just that either. It's like Kelly mentioned earlier. It bites on people. It digs down on people. It's people's mental well-being. I mean, physical well-being is all well and good, but in this day and age, mental health well-being is just as important. I mean, people. I mean, I'm thick-skinned. I mean, I've been military trained. I mean, I've got skin like a rhino. But I mean, there's people not like us out there. People take comments and be taken to heart.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, it's no secret what I tried. People don't understand the social media, and especially Facebook, because it's not just about ghost hunting. It's about work. It's about becoming well known on social media and how it affects your life. Okay, so it is our full-time job, and so we're constantly having to put updates of our life and vlog everything. But it gets to you. It drove me into severe depression to the point where I ended up in hospital last year for trying to top myself. And there was I mean, everyone knows about it. There's been lots of ridicule about it, which I think is disgusting. See, I mean, Lucy Derbyshire, your comment there is not helping whatsoever. John, I've said stuff in the past. Yes, I have. What I'm trying to say is it has more of an impact on your life and your mental health than people would give you credit for. One person might say, well, why is John going to want to top himself because I've called him a fat bastard? But then I would say, well, what about the 99 other messages that I've had before?
Yeah, what we don't see. Yeah.
It's not just your one message, it's the hundreds and hundreds. And you can be thick-skinned as much as you want, but it still gets to you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that is my point of view. And all because we do things differently, yes, I may operate in a different way of investigation, but obviously my viewers like it, is why they stay. And so I'm not going to change the way I work, but what we do need to change is the drama. And I agree, I was one of the culprits.
Look, I think it's safe to say that everybody at some point in their life here and in the chat room has done something similar to somebody else.
Okay?
And it's so easy to do that these days as well. Everyone can have a keyboard.
Yeah, and this is why me and CJ decided this show would be so apt. We want people to come on. Do you know, John, when you messaged me and said I want to come on the show, I was so excited. I was on StreamYard with CJ and I went, oh my God, John wants to come on. This is great. This is brilliant. This is exactly what this show's about. I want people to come on. I want people to have their say. It's no way a reflection on you as a person. It was simply, it came up in my notifications. I watched it. I watched your whole investigation and I thought it was brilliant. There's no.
But do you not think that people should stop? I mean, you've got a lot of people out there that's delving into people's personal lives, and I'll give you one example of this: is Andrew and Cole that you've had on before, right? I feel so sorry for them because they're lovely lads, right? But they get. I mean, people keep going on about the age difference, and what has that got to do with the job and the viewing that they're giving you? Yeah,
nothing. But that's immaturity.
They're a gay couple. There is an age difference, but they're in love with each other. Who gives a shit, right? Just watch their show if you want to, or don't if you don't, right? Who cares if I've had...
There's a spiritual connection. That's what you look at.
Make me a bad ghost hunter. It doesn't, right? So I think this is where the personal life and the ghost hunting needs to stay separate. And I am saying ghost hunting for me because I am not a paranormal investigator. We ghost hunt. That is it.
I know what you mean because I've ghost hunted myself. I've been investigating myself. Like you said, John, a ghost hunt is 5, 6, 7 hours in a location. An investigation could be 5, 6, 7 years in a location. There's a big difference.
And I think that's perfect in what you've just said because there is the difference between it.
Yeah.
There's ghost hunters, there are paranormal researchers, there are investigators. Call it what you want. Each have got their own techniques on what they do and how they investigate. And they should be allowed to investigate.
Yeah.
You know? At the end of the day. I don't, how can I put it? How can I describe myself? I do my location, which I run with my team, which is an in-out hitting team there, which is brilliant. If I go out and I do, which I don't mix with many other teams as it goes. But if, say for argument's sake, Barry, if you had one and it was a location I hadn't done, I'd probably come up and join. Do you know what I mean? But I'd be in the background in there because I'm interested in hearing and seeing. I'm not interested in.
Yeah, and it's like people's techniques as well. We all do a similar thing. I mean, everyone's done it. I've done all the tech. I've had my years of tech and stuff, which to be honest with you, doesn't work for me. I'm more old school again. I've reverted back to the old ways of doing things, which works better for me. But I wouldn't disrespect anyone who actually wants to use the modern technology side of things.
Barry, that's where I think I need to revisit because I was talking earlier, 20 years ago when I was investigating, I went out with a compass, an EVP recorder, and a spirit box. Yeah, and that's it.
Funny you should say that. This is one of my favourite. This is one of my favourite toys. That.
Yeah, and I used to be out for 8 to 9 hours investigating. But what we've done is started getting used to all the apps. And from a scientific perspective, the apps do work. A lot of people are criticising them. What we've been able to do is break down the apps to code level and see that they're actually accessing the sensors. And we know if it's accessing the proximity in the gyroscope, that it's doing something external to that device. So, I mean, I hate the Paratech, but my team use it 10 minutes.
You use it on a mobile phone device, then, or is it a standalone system you use? You use a mobile phone?
We use an Android tablet, but we also use a Windows tablet.
I'm not saying it's a gripe, because I'm not having to dig at anybody's methodology, but personally, I believe because mobile phones can still pick a signal up, that manipulates any evidence.
Yeah. It can. It can. Yeah. Well, what we always try to do is make sure that a phone's in aeroplane mode. It's got no SIM card in it. We've got an EMF patch on the back of all of our phones that we live stream off and the device that we're actually using. So it can't affect the Tri-Field or the K2. But I think and this is because the whole point of us being called Where Spirit Meets Science is because I've got a few degrees in science. And so I wanted to mix science with spirituality. And I think the laziness and all the drama has driven us away from that a little bit.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the technology, I think what it is as well, we expect the technology to work for us. We've lost the element of becoming a conduit ourselves. That's why I like to go back to my old ways of methodology. I become a conduit rather than waiting for a battery and a flashing light to do it for me.
I want to really, because we're diversing a little bit onto equipment and stuff, and we've only got a bit of time left, and we can get to the egos. So I'm going to pose the question to our guests and to those actually in the chat room. Do you think that the mainstream TV programs and some of the presenters there, some of them have got some egos, and I've witnessed it when I've seen it on things. Do you think that has effect, and that has a knock-on effect to people that watch
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, a lot of TV people they've done other things, and maybe their main objective hasn't been paranormal. They've been given an opportunity for them to go show. I think, yeah, I'll do it. But their ego from previous incarnations with other shows follows them. And they tend to. It's like anything. I mean, when someone moves jobs, for example, I mean, I've been made redundant a few times, and I always take elements of my old job to my new job, and you forget things. And I've answered a phone call, mentioned my old company's name. Oops, sorry, I forgot. You think you're somewhere else, and these show through as well. And like I said, people's personalities and egos do come through, and their TV program followers, they tend to follow it. I'm not going to mention any program names because I'm not going to disrespect anybody. Everyone's got their own way of doing things and their own beliefs, and I appreciate that. But it's their followers think that's okay to do that, and so they follow suit.
Yeah.
Agreed. But in fairness, is it hard not to get an ego when you get? I've been subject to this. I've been on a TV show. I've got a big following, and so as a consequence, it did give me a big ego. And it weren't until I learned the hard way that I came crashing back down. Is it just a natural instinct that you're getting so many compliments from people all around you that you start believing it a little bit and you start getting a bit arrogant? Because I've been there, and as I say, I've been literally dropped to the floor to be re-educated. So yeah, I believe that it's
you fall, but be great of a drop, eh? Yeah. No, I say, but I know what you're saying though. But I say I've got a few followers myself. But I mean, I've been in this field many years myself, and I've seen people names come and go. I've made good friends. I've still got friends I've known from day one. And in that respect, you can meet some brilliant people in this field. I mean, no matter what people say about the paranormal, how bad the stuff is at times, there is some brilliant souls out there, and they do come together. But like I said, sometimes there are more bad apples. There's a bit of crap amongst it all, and that's what shows through most. That's the problem with it.
I know quite a few that I've worked with where they've come down to the location and they've done filming. Not all of them have got egos, but there are some. And it's not so much what I call not the low. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Not low level TV personalities. I'm talking the ones that are like global personalities.
Yeah. Like an A-lister type
thing. And they're like, look at me. And
this. That Bagans.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm much better at Aaron. He's dreamy. I'd marry Aaron.
Yeah, but you know, at a para conference a few years ago, I met Zach, and do you know, in reality, he's one of the nicest men you'll ever meet.
Yeah, he's got.
Take away from the TV camera. He's hyperactive, but he's not arrogant. He's a lovely man in real life.
Who's that now? Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
I see. I've actually thought that, you know, at the end of the day, when I've watched him, and I used to watch it. I used to watch most of it. It's what started me.
I think we all have at some point.
I think, to be honest, but at the end of the day, he just got on. I mean, I worked with some really nice people. Recently, there was a show done, and the guy that we worked with was absolutely brilliant, Danny. And to be quite honest with you, there he is. Sorry. And he was really no ego there whatsoever.
I've been watching Danny's stuff on Amazon. He's got a really good show on there, hasn't
he? He was really, really good. He spoke to you, he was down to earth. That's what I liked. But I have met some which have been, if I do that, you know what I mean. They've been up themselves. And at the end of the day, people, you see the problem with me, I'm bad for myself because I say it as I see it. And at the end of the day, I've always got an attitude that either accept me or not accept me. I'm not bothered. I'm not here to please anybody. I'm not even here to please anybody here or anyone. At the end of the day, I am me. And if people what I am, then that's fine. I'll help anybody. But I have met these individuals that have got huge egos, and it's not just investigators. There's authors as well that's got them, and there's other people that have got them there. It's right throughout the field. And I think with us having this show, I think it does highlight that, it needs to be addressed at times. And that's the reason why we did do what we do.
Yeah. Okay, so final question then that we're going to put to John and Barry before we go.
Yep.
Lockdown. Do we stay in as investigators or do we go out?
Who's first?
I think I covered that at the beginning with the fact of, I think what we need to do is, if we do go out, the ones that are permitted to, and it's not permit, remember, it's permitted work. Whenever you use the word permit, those that are permitted to need to explain why they are permitted to do it. So then the smaller groups that are not permitted to don't follow suit and go out and just get themselves into trouble. As I say, we've got 2 letters from Training Standards. We've got emails. We've got an email from South Yorkshire Police, and we have had to carry risk assessments. We have to go through so many procedures to be able to go out. So that is my point of view on it.
If you don't mind me asking, just one pickup on that is, how do you get around with the amount of people that go with you? Because
we don't, because at the moment, now we're in lockdown. It will be me and Jojo because we live together, and it will be another 2 people from the same household, which will be Kelly and John, who live together, and we have to stay 2 meters apart from that person. That's the only way we can get around it.
So technically, then you do conform to the bubble and the regulation that you can work with 2 other people. But so how does that play then if you have family or anything like that? Because once you pick your other bubble, that's who you're stuck with. Or did you design it that way so you could continue doing what you're doing?
To be honest with you, it's not really the legality point of view. It wasn't from the bubble. It was the fact of we know them 2 can stay close to each other because they're husband and wife. Me and Jojo can because we're partners. And as long as the 2 groups stay 2 meters apart, we're abiding by any laws. The support bubble doesn't really come into it when you're under a professional category. But I still have to carry. I still have to carry proof that I get paid from Facebook. That we get paid from sponsors, YouTube, and that we have contracts in place, and we have to carry them everywhere with us now. We are only sticking to local areas because I do believe it's going to piss a lot of people off if not. And the fact is, because it's our industry, it's, I don't know, we have to make a living for our team and our employees.
So technically, you're not going out your own tier area; you're staying within. So it's clear you stay within your own area.
We're only going to the areas that we've got permission from Training Standards for those areas, which would be Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire, South Yorkshire.
Yeah. So it has to be local then.
Yeah.
So, Barry?
I mean, with respect to John, no disrespect to whatsoever, but I think people should stay where they are. Leave, as I mentioned before, these girls have been hundreds of years, these spirits have been hundreds of years. A few more months ain't going to make much difference to them. I mean, it might even rebuild the energy back up. I mean, these locations people are going to, by all means, you're crossing boundaries, you're going to petrol stations to pick fuel up, you're beating key holders, security, you're going back. It means, like I said, you don't know who people's bubbles are as well. How many people they've been in contact with, and vice versa. I mean, personally, I think people should stay at home until it's all over with. Regards to people's livelihood, it's bad people losing money, but there's small businesses out there who are in the same boat, who they can't do anything about it. But we should all bang our heads together, stay indoors until it's all sorted.
Well, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to go into the same kind of buildings that we go into previously. We will be out in woods and country parks, which will be the difference because and we, when it's just me and Jojo out, we won't be affecting anyone because it's just the same as going out for your normal walk. Just the fact I've got a camera with me. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we are literally just going to be going out, mainly me and Jojo. And doing old ruins, woods, that kind of stuff until the lockdown's done. Yeah, I mean, I won't be getting any further. I mean, the size of the camera I have to carry around with me, it's pretty massive. So it's not like I can it's not like I can carry that far anyway. But what I don't want people thinking is, because John's got permission, is we're going to go into all these abandoned buildings now and start doing ghost hunts, because that's not what it's about. It's about filming. There are places that we have hired to go into as well. And we do carry public liability insurance and employee liability insurance for us on our team.
Liability.
Sorry, it's very expensive when you tell them what you do.
What about the public liability though? Because I called my insurer up and they said that if I went out investigating it, I wouldn't be covered under my insurance because it doesn't cover like COVID. It just doesn't cover it.
Yeah. To be honest with you, it's going to be more around sticking to the laws that's been put in place. So as far as if I've been given to go out and work by the relevant authorities, there's no reason for the insurance company not to cover me, and they have to give me notice that they're taking the insurance cover away.
Yeah.
So I've made a decision based on everything I've been watching and reading over the past 4 weeks. And I've decided, CJ, that once all this COVID business is over, I'm going to be raking in the money. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people are going out investigating and saying it's exercise. So what I'm going to do afterwards is create a paranormal exercise company, because I'm thinking there's going to be loads of people who want to join that.
Hundreds, yeah, probably be hundreds, yeah. But people will use all sorts. I was watching the TV today, and on the news, and I'm addicted to Good Morning Britain with that Piers Morgan, as much as I want to punch him on the nose at times. But there is a valid point that they were going on about, people that, not in the paranormal, but are using excuses to bypass and to get around to go out. And I just think it's daft, because at the end of the day, just wait a few more months. The magic pill is there. And soon as you get the magic pill, there'll be a mad rush everywhere. And to be quite honest, spirits are not going to go anywhere, are they? I mean, I know when I get back to my location, which could be in the next couple of months, I probably walk in with Corinne and the team, we'll probably end up getting mugged by them, because it also it's a good rest period as well. Because
I agree. We've got our own haunted event centre. We've got a haunted museum basically. It was an old 17th century hotel that we converted, and we've had haunted items donated from all over the world. And so we've got a venue we can go to twice a week if we need to. Again, that takes us away from being near the public. So it's not as just the fact that we're going out every night anyway. But I agree with you about having a bit of time away from a location just to get the spirits active, because some places are overdone, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Kelly, I am looking at the time. We are.
Yeah, me too.
And so I think really...
it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think it is. Goodbye.
John and Barry, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on.
A massive shout out to Cole and Andrew.
Yeah. John, just want to say much respect for coming on. Much respect.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And I hope that we can now people can see that we just want to leave all the shit behind us, okay?
Good. Yeah.
But if it's achieved something, then that's the end of Deadends.
I think it's what you're looking for. I think what you do is one person takes something away from it, and do this every week. One person each week takes something away from each show. You're onto a winner.
Absolutely.
I agree.
You can now say, though, John, you are a dead ender. And you.
You'll get a little badge.
I do go family first, yeah. So, thanks ever so much, guys. Barry, best of luck, mate, for your.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God, amazing. If anybody doesn't know,
big projects coming up in future.
So, where are you going to be podcasting from for a while, Barry?
This very chair. This very office I'm sat in right now. I'm doing a bit of a podcast studio. It's a change from a pure paranormal radio show, but for people who don't know this, we aired last night for final episode. Yeah. It's still a mixed. It's still a mixed cloud if you want to watch it, but it's a sad episode. It's 4 years worth of brilliance. I mean, there's some brilliant guests on it, and it just proves you have some brilliant people who've been a paranormal field. It's not all bad.
Good.
which is
So
brilliant.
you can see Barry on HAPRC, guys. So go over. He's got a little show going on over there, but there's more to come from Barry.
Yeah, and Kelly, I just want to say thank you to all that has come in. I know there's been a few comments that have been put on. It's been quite passionate tonight, but everyone should be leaving as friends. If you can't have open conversations like this, then you should be in this business in the first place. And as to everybody,
I will say one thing though.
What?
I will say next time if you have me on, can I have a bigger box, please? I keep banging my head on this.
We can sort that out.
To end it, we'll be saying that we always finish off with the paranormal doesn't need entertainers; it needs educators. So
I've said that many times.
It's over to you, Kelly, to end our show. Thanks for everybody for coming.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. It's nice to see, actually, there's been some sort of recognition in the chat box for both John and Barry. Lots of people liking my idea of a paranormal exercise program. Don't worry, I'm on it. And we shall see you all again soon. All right, take care, folks. See you later. Bye.
Bye.